Hey, JustMaD here, and Operation Riptide was supposed to end yesterday, but I was so sure it wouldn't that I didn't even bother rushing this video. That's the point we're at. So let's go over all that we know and what we don't know. The end of Operation Riptide should mean the discontinuation of all of the Riptide items, so the case, the 2021 map collections, the stickers, the agents, the patches, and the Operation Pass. I'll go through all of these a bit later, but first let's talk about the cases, and not the stuck inside for 2 weeks only playing CS kind of case. The end of the last two operations came with the release of a new case with the same rare special items as the Operation case. As you all know, with Operation Riptide this seems to be a little different, since the case that contains the same rare special items as the Riptide case is the Dreams and Nightmares case, which released about a month before the end of the operation, which seems like much too close to release the usual end of operation case, so I don't think they will release yet another one. Keeping on the subject of cases, let's talk about the Riptide case. This one is very interesting because we don't have to speculate on whether its knives are going to be exclusive to it, because they're not. This seemingly bad thing could end up being very good for its supply, since it can have turned people off from buying these as an investment in-game, and while they were at a slightly lower price during the week following the release of the Dreams and Nightmares case, it also reduced the incentive to redeem cases, since you would get much less back when you redeem them. But unfortunately, that didn't last long, and the Riptide case rose back to a proper price once again. So overall, I do think this has potential over the long term, since its knives are great, but they're also available in the commonly dropping Dreams and Nightmares case. And by looking at the amount of listings on the Steam community market from Price Stalker, you should see that the supply for them should be a tiny bit higher than the Shadowweb case, but lower than the Broken Fang case, which should be decent. But again, in the long term, except if there's some kind of end of operation hype, I think it will take at least a few years until it starts rising, and a few more until the Dreams and Nightmares case gets moved to rare, and the Riptide case can really start making profit. Before I move on very quickly, I now have an affiliate link for manco.store. If you want to support the channel, feel free to check it out. Let's move on to the Riptide collection skins. It's easy to assume that these are the same as the Shattered Web and Broken Fang collection skins, but they actually have a big difference. All of these collections, except for the 2021 Train collection, are available as souvenirs, and they will be for quite some time, until the map gets moved out to the competitive map pool or the skin collection gets changed. This means that twice a year, a new supply of these skins will enter the market. Of course, not exactly the same skins as they are souvenirs, but they will still remove some of the demand from the known souvenir skins. Now let's look at their supply, using the numbers I collected for my Collection Watch series, which I have not given up on. I'm still collecting the numbers, I just want to bring a big update to it soon. It seems like the Mirage collection will have a supply similar to the Control collection, Dust 2 a bit higher than the Havoc collection, and Train is much higher than the rest due to how it's redeemed, but it's still lower than a Case collection. Now for Vertigo 2021, it currently has less than 1,000 imminent dangers. That collection will be extremely rare. Now it does not mean it will be a good investment, especially since Vertigo will be in the competitive map pool for a long time, since it recently got updated. If you want to buy any of these skins, remember that the better ROI is usually in the lower tiers, but it comes along with more effort, while the high tiers take less effort to invest in since you just buy 1 or 2 skins, but they also have less ROI. Overall, I don't think this will be a great investment. The supply for Dust 2 and Mirage is pretty high. The demand for Vertigo is horrible, the supply for Train is also very big, and these should all be available as souvenirs for the foreseeable future, except for Train obviously. I did still pick some up. I got some industrial grades from the Mirage collection, and a tiny amount of carbon fibers from the Vertigo collection lying around from a trade up I was trying, as well as an XM1014 Elegant Divines I traded up to for 17 euros. I decided to buy these and trade up to these because after stocking up on all of my safer investments during the drop at the end of the last year, I had some money lying around for more risky investments, and I decided to use it on this. Now let's talk about the stickers. For the Riptide stickers, the very important question is how their supply is looking, and it's looking quite good. For example, if we compare it with the Battlescarred Holo, which had a peak of listing on the market of 4,000, the Liquidfire Holo has much less hype. It peaked at only 700 listing. One thing to keep in mind though, Battlescarred Holo seems to have been quite heavily invested into, based on the fact that these great walls appeared after the end of the operation, while on the Riptide stickers it does seem to be more organic. There is still however some whales, as you can see with the large amount of stickers getting removed and added here, but overall I don't have any of these, and I'm not sure about their investment viability. The fact that they didn't have an investment hype is great, because it means that their supply is lower and they shouldn't be over invested into. But seeing as the quality of the stickers Valve released recently, and the fact that the Antwerp Major is coming soon, I think these stickers might be quickly forgotten. And since the investment hype isn't there either, I don't think these will have hype spikes like the Battlescarred Holo had. For the Surf Shop stickers, they're a little more interesting. There are so many different versions of them, and therefore supplies are low, but this is a double-edged sword, since they have the same problem as the Riptide stickers, Maybe even worse, there are so many different versions of them, so I'm scared that they will most probably be forgotten and drop to almost no demand. Let's move on to agents, and for these I'm at a bit of a loss. The Broken Fang agents actually recovered really good after the release of the Riptide agents, and it's actually quite promising, but if you look at the Shattered Web agents, they haven't recovered at all for most of them. I'm pretty sure the difference is in the supply of them. The Shattered Web agents were dropped to everyone who did the pass, while the Broken Fang agents had the new system. And by looking at the listings on the Steam community market from Price Stalker, we can see that first of all, the Shattered Web supply is insane, which seems to confirm my theory. The Riptide supply is actually similar to the Broken Fang supply, which means it will probably be around the same in terms of price. My guess is that it will also slightly rise over time unless something changes. The patches are even worse in terms of demand, and their supply is weirdly high. These can be compared to the Metal Skill Group patches in terms of supply, but with the team patches being out, I can't see any reason for a substantial increase apart from manipulation. And lastly, the Operation Pass. The Shattered Web Pass was profitable, the Broken Fang one wasn't. But looking at the Steam market listings using Price Stalker, it seems that there are whales holding several hundreds of them, like with the spike in listings here. So seeing as the demand for these is tiny, I don't see how they could be a good investment. And that's all I have for you today. If you want to support me, affiliate links are in the description. And thanks a lot for watching.